You stand on the battlefield of modern relationships. Many of you, clutching a romantic ideal whispered into your ear since childhood. Chase love. Pursue her. Win her heart with grand gestures, unwavering devotion, and self-sacrificial effort. You believe that by relentlessly pursuing, by proving your worthiness, by offering your unwavering commitment, you will eventually unlock the sacred chambers of true affection and lasting partnership. You are the valiant knight, endlessly riding towards the castle, believing that your persistent siege will ultimately yield the queen. But what if this very instruction, this pervasive cultural narrative, is a profound and fundamental misdirection? What if the map you were given to navigate the treacherous terrain of desire leads you not to genuine connection, but to perpetual frustration, subtle manipulation, and an inescapable sense of powerlessness? What if, while you were meticulously taught the art of pursuit, she was taught, implicitly and explicitly, the art of using the love you offer, not to reciprocate it, but to leverage it for her own security, validation, or comfort? This is not a condemnation of women. It is a stark, uncomfortable unveiling of a deep, asymmetrical dynamic that profoundly shapes the modern dating landscape, leaving many men bewildered, exhausted, and profoundly unfulfilled. It is an invitation to strip away the romanticized illusions and confront a brutal truth. Until you understand this fundamental disparity in conditioning, you will forever remain a participant in a game you are ill-equipped to win, perpetually chasing a prize that is not what it seems. The first and most pervasive lie woven into the tapestry of your upbringing is the myth of the one true love as a destination to be conquered. You are told that love is a treasure hidden, and your masculine duty is to embark on the quest, overcoming all obstacles, proving your devotion, and eventually capturing this elusive prize. Movies, songs, literature, they all reinforce this archetype, the hero's journey, culminating in the winning of the maiden's hand. This narrative imbues you with a relentless drive to pursue, to demonstrate, to prove your worthiness through effort and self-sacrifice. Simultaneously, a very different, often subconscious set of instructions is downloaded into the feminine psyche. From an early age, she is taught, through countless subtle cues, that her value lies not in active pursuit, but in being desired, not in giving chase, but in being chosen. She learns that her security, her status, her emotional well-being can be significantly influenced by her ability to attract, select, and subtly leverage the devotion and resources of men. This is not a conscious malevolence. It is an adaptive strategy, deeply rooted in evolutionary history and reinforced by societal structures that have historically placed women in a position of seeking provision and protection. Consider the archetypes at play. For men, it's often the lover as the pursuer, the hero as the giver, the provider as the sacrifice. For women, it's often the queen as the selector, the goddess as the receiver, the enchantress as the inspirer of devotion. These are not moral judgments, but functional roles that, in their extreme or unexamined forms, create profound imbalances. While you were practicing the art of the grand gesture, she was perfecting the art of assessing utility. While you were focused on proving your love, she was often, unconsciously, focused on discerning what your love could provide. What power is there in chasing something that is inherently designed to be courted, to be offered to, rather than actively pursued? What freedom is there in perpetually giving, when the other party is conditioned primarily to receive and evaluate? This asymmetry, born of distinct societal conditioning, ensures that your relentless pursuit often leads to a subtle form of exploitation, where your efforts are consumed but not genuinely reciprocated in the way you envision. You become a wingless creature, crawling in circles, believing your frantic movement will eventually lift you into flight, never realizing the rules of gravity are different for you. She doesn't want your pursuit, she wants your presence, the power of self-possession. This is the first profound truth that shatters the illusion. She doesn't want your relentless, anxious pursuit, your desperate attempts to win her over. This signals a lack of self-possession, a subtle desperation that undermines your inherent value. What she truly wants is your presence. She wants a man who is so firmly rooted in himself, so grounded in his own purpose and values, that his attention becomes a gift, not a plea. This is the man who does not orbit her world, but invites her to share in his. The man who is comfortable in his own skin, secure in his own solitude, and therefore, when he chooses to engage, his engagement is powerful, intentional, and magnetic. Your pursuit, when it stems from a place of seeking validation or fearing loss, communicates a profound energetic weakness. It tells her, "I need you to complete me." This is a heavy burden, and it actively repels deep attraction. A man of genuine presence, by contrast, is a man who knows his own worth, independent of her approval. He embodies the king archetype, not as a tyrant, but as a sovereign ruler of his own inner kingdom. His attention is not desperate, it is discerning. His affection is not freely given to anyone who will accept it. It is reserved for those who resonate with his authentic self. This creates a powerful energetic polarity. A man who is the mountain, not the river that endlessly flows towards her. What power is there in chasing someone who is instinctively drawn to that which is stable, secure, and self-contained? What magnetic pull can you exert when you are constantly expending energy outward, rather than cultivating a powerful internal gravity? She is drawn to the man who is already whole, who radiates a quiet confidence, who can simply be in her presence without needing to perform or impress. She doesn't want your promises, she wants your proof. The allure of demonstrated capability. The second profound truth. She doesn't merely want your words, your declarations of love, your grand promises of a shared future. These are easy to utter. What she truly seeks is your proof. Not proof of affection in the form of endless compliments or gifts, but demonstrated capability. She wants a man who consistently shows through his actions that he is competent, reliable, and capable of navigating the world and fulfilling his commitments. This manifests in various forms. It's the man who says he will do something and then does it. It's the man who faces challenges with resolve, who takes responsibility for his errors, who can provide direction and stability, not just emotional support. This isn't about being perfect. It's about a consistent pattern of follow-through, a track record of integrity and competence. Your words are cheap. Your consistent actions are invaluable currency. Think of the warrior archetype. His strength is not in his boast, but in his proven ability in battle. His reliability is not in his pledge, but in his steadfastness under pressure. When you are perpetually chasing, perpetually promising, but lacking a consistent demonstration of your capability, you inadvertently signal an underlying insecurity, a lack of true power. Your pursuit becomes an empty performance, an attempt to compensate for a lack of genuine substance. This demonstrated capability creates a sense of profound trust and respect. Not just that you will be reliable in small matters, but that you are a man capable of building a life, of weathering storms, of providing genuine leadership when necessary. This is a man who builds a solid foundation, not just castles in the air with words. What is the enduring appeal of a man whose worth is tied to his vocal declarations, but whose actions are inconsistent or unreliable? Where is the deep respect for a man who talks a good game, but rarely delivers tangible results in his own life? She is drawn to the man whose life itself is a testament to his capabilities, whose integrity is evident in every action, not just every promise. She doesn't want your potential, she wants your purpose, the magnetism of direction. The third profound truth. She doesn't want to invest endlessly in your unactualized potential, to be your cheerleader for a future that never quite materializes. She wants your purpose. She wants a man who is already animated by a compelling vision for his life, who is actively pursuing something larger than himself, who has a clear direction and is making tangible progress towards it. This is the man with a mission, a passion, a calling that transcends mere comfort or stability. He is intensely engaged in the active creation of his reality, shaping his world, not merely reacting to it. This purpose creates a powerful aura, a magnetic field around him, drawing others into his orbit. It signals vitality, competence, and a profound engagement with life itself. The good man often offers a life of comfort and predictability, promising to integrate his life completely into hers, making her the sole focus. But a woman, at a deep, unconscious level, is drawn to a man who is driven by an internal fire, who is actively contributing to the world, who stands on his own 2 feet with a clear trajectory. A man without purpose is a wingless creature, crawling in circles, perpetually adrift, and profoundly uninspiring. He may be nice, but he lacks the animating force that ignites deep respect and passion. What is the enduring appeal of a man whose greatest ambition is a secure retirement and a comfortable sofa, or whose life revolves solely around meeting her needs? Where is the inspiration in a life dedicated solely to consumption, to passive existence, to merely being there? She is drawn to the man whose candle flickers with an internal flame, whose eyes hold the light of a grander pursuit, for that pursuit suggests a depth and dynamism that promises a richer, more engaged life. A partner, not a passenger. She doesn't want your comfort, she wants your challenge, the crucible of growth. The fourth profound truth. She doesn't want endless, bland comfort, a relationship devoid of all difficulty or necessary friction. While comfort is desired, it is the absence of challenge that often leads to stagnation and the death of desire. She wants a man who is willing to challenge her, to hold boundaries, to speak uncomfortable truths, and to inspire her own growth, even when it's difficult. This is the man who isn't afraid to say no when his values are violated, to set clear boundaries, to address difficult issues head-on, even if it leads to temporary tension or disagreement. This signals courage, integrity, and a profound respect for reality over superficial harmony. The good man often avoids confrontation at all costs, fearing disapproval, fearing conflict, fearing the disruption of his carefully constructed agreeable image. This avoidance, however, creates resentment, fosters hidden dynamics, and ultimately erodes genuine respect and attraction. True intimacy and growth emerge not from the absence of conflict, but from the ability to navigate it with integrity and strength. When you consistently prioritize her comfort over the truth, when you become a perpetual yes man, you become a weak leader, a man who sacrifices his integrity for immediate peace. This might make her feel superficially protected, but it will inevitably undermine her fundamental respect and attraction, as she recognizes an absence of genuine masculine fortitude. What is the enduring respect for a man who perpetually avoids discomfort, who cannot hold a boundary, who sacrifices his truth for the sake of artificial harmony? Where is the sense of true safety with a man who will not confront reality, who will not challenge her when necessary, who will not stand firm against external pressures or her own fleeting whims? She is drawn to the man who embodies genuine strength, the strength to face reality, even when it is difficult, and to lead with integrity, for this signifies a man capable of leading not just himself, but a partnership through life's complexities. She doesn't want a man, she wants a sovereign being, the integration of strength and depth. This culminates in the most profound truth. She doesn't want a mere caricature of masculinity, a man who performs a role, a man who merely adheres to a script of goodness. She wants a sovereign being. She wants a man who has done the arduous, courageous work of integrating all aspects of himself, his power and his vulnerability, his assertiveness and his empathy, his logic and his intuition, his independence and his capacity for deep connection. This is the man who has wrestled with his own shadow, who has faced his fears, who has embraced the messy complexities of his own psyche. He is not a one-dimensional nice guy or a two-dimensional alpha male caricature. He is whole, he is integrated, he is self-aware, and therefore self-mastered. He embodies the king archetype in its fullest sense, not as a tyrant, but as a ruler of his own inner kingdom, bringing order, purpose, and justice to his own soul. He is simultaneously a warrior for his convictions, a magician who understands the deeper dynamics of life, and a lover who can connect with genuine depth and passion. This man doesn't derive his worth from external validation. He emanates it from within. He doesn't need her approval to define himself. He invites her to share in the richness of his self-authored life. He doesn't merely do to please her. He is. He understands that true power is not exerted over others, but cultivated within oneself. His pursuit of her, if it exists, is not desperate, but deliberate, not needy, but discerning. It is the pursuit of a shared life, not a validation of his existence. What enduring attraction is there for a man who is perpetually performing a role, forever seeking external approval, always fragmented and incomplete, living by a script written by others? Where is the magnetic pull towards someone who is not yet whole, who is still a stranger to his own depths, constantly chasing something external to fill an internal void? She is drawn to the profound allure of a man who knows himself, owns himself, and leads himself with integrity and purpose, for this is the rarest and most valuable quality a man can possess. The path to undeniable attraction. Reclaiming your essence. So, how do you shed the skin of the good man who perpetually chases and step into the true, sovereign power that naturally attracts? How do you become the man who embodies this? It begins with radical self-possession. Stop chasing, stop performing. Turn your energy inward, cultivate your own garden, define your own values, your own purpose, your own boundaries. Become so centered in your own being that your presence becomes magnetic, a quiet gravitational force rather than a frantic, desperate pursuit. This is the arduous work of confronting your own fears of disapproval, your own people-pleasing tendencies, and your deep-seated anxieties about being not enough. Next, cultivate demonstrable capability and unwavering integrity. Your word must be your bond. Your actions must consistently align with your stated intentions. Build something of value in your life, whether it's a skill, a business, a physical capability, or a body of knowledge. Show, don't just tell, that you are a man who can deliver, who can be relied upon, who has competence in the world. This is how you build genuine trust and respect, not through empty promises, but through solid proof. Embrace purposeful creation. Find a mission, a passion, a calling that deeply animates you, that transcends mere comfort or material gain. Dedicate yourself to it. Let your life be defined not just by what you consume, but by what you create, what you build, what you contribute to the world. This inner fire, this passionate engagement with life, is profoundly attractive, for it signals a man who is shaping his destiny, not merely reacting to it. Learn the art of polarization through truth and distinctness. Be distinct. Have your own opinions. Don't be afraid to challenge respectfully, to hold your ground, to be the anchor in the relationship rather than the chameleon. True connection emerges from the dance of two distinct whole individuals, not from two halves seeking to merge into one indistinct blob. Dare to speak your truth, even when it might create discomfort, for this builds genuine trust and respect. Finally, embark on the profound journey of integrating your complete self. Allow yourself to feel deeply, to express your emotions authentically, not just anger, to cultivate your intuition, to embrace your capacity for nurturing and empathy. This is not about becoming softer, it's about becoming whole. A man who integrates his inner masculine and feminine principles is not only more powerful and balanced, but far more compelling and genuinely attractive, for he radiates an authentic depth that cannot be faked. The path to undeniable attraction is not found in tirelessly chasing a romantic ideal, nor in the passive performance of niceness. It is found in the courageous, often painful, journey inward to reclaim your authentic essence. It is found in the willingness to dismantle the invisible psychological chains that have kept you small, agreeable, and ultimately overlooked by the very depths of a woman's soul. Will you continue to chase the illusion of being good enough by sacrificing your true self, only to find yourself perpetually exhausted and profoundly unfulfilled? Will you continue to seek external validation for a version of yourself that is ultimately empty, leaving you in the friend zone of her affection? Or will you have the immense courage to look at your own chains, to challenge the cultural scripts that have defined you? to step into the terrifying yet infinitely rewarding work of truly knowing yourself, owning yourself, and embodying your full, integrated, sovereign power. She doesn't want a good man. She wants a sovereign man. And the choice to become him, to claim your true power, rests entirely with you. Reclaim it.